What is up, guys? It's Lauren and Sophia.
Pisces,
The
we're back.
Pisces perspective.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and here we are. We're live in the chat. Yeah, we got it on. You've got the high vibe one going.
Yeah, mine's going right now.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I feel like, there'll definitely be people in there. And join the YouTube one, guys. So, how's everybody feeling with this energy? This at the end of Scorpio. How are you feeling, Sophia? How has Scorpio season actually been?
Well, I've been wanting it to be over because I'm kind of over it, but
me too.
And with the Mars and Gemini, like I don't like that.
Yes.
With it squaring Neptune, so it's been kind of hard. And then when the moon was in Virgo, and like I'm Pisces Sag, so Virgo Gemini is like opposing me, so I was like over it. I was like having all these mental
and Gemini things. And Mars in
overthinking.
Totally. And then it's squaring Neptune, so it's just like it's not a vibe.
Yeah, it's definitely not. And especially for Leos too, like because it's squaring. We just don't like Scorpio season this year with the South Node there. It's too much.
I was just going to say that. It's like, I love Scorpio season, but definitely not. I mean, we don't want any planet with the South Node, but especially like Scorpio is so, intense and passionate. And, it's Scorpio season's a vibe, but definitely not with the South Node there.
Yeah, and Venus went into Sag though, finally. I was really excited about that. And I felt the shift. It was just like lighter energy, like happier.
Yes. And because too, you have so much like Sag energy. So like Venus is going to hit all that and it'll just be, it'll be so much better.
Yeah, better vibes. I don't like Venus and Scorpio. I feel like it's so intense. And
it is
more serious.
Yeah, and then it conjuncts your Lilith and your Mars and like all of that stuff. Yeah, this Scorpio season was definitely. I'm glad that we're like right
so
at
close.
because what is today? Is it the 18th? So literally like what, the 21st? So we have just like a few more days.
Yeah, we do.
And then. Yeah, Venus and Sag is definitely a vibe. And then Mercury's going to be with Venus. Oh, what are they saying?
I don't know how to see the live chat. That's the thing I was trying to figure out because I don't know.
Hold on, guys. Anybody in here?
Maybe you should.
Oh, wait. Here, let's see. Watch. We'll get it. Okay, so let's see. What are we going to talk about? Lots of things, but I feel like we should talk about too, though, that this is we need to take in Sagittarius season because it is literally the last fire until Aries. And I don't even know what.
It's winter right now too, so we need the fire.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, perfect. There we go. Hi guys.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Scorpios do like Scorpio season. I feel that it's your home sign. I love Pisces season. I feel it. I remember my friends were complaining the whole Pisces season. They were like, "Oh my God, I feel awful. I feel so weird and off, and like can't get anything done." And I'm like, "I'm so happy it's Pisces." We feel like that all the time, like in the clouds. So like we're used to it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and I feel like, and definitely this past, or like in March, Pisces season this year. I mean, that was so intense because Jupiter and Neptune, it was like, I guess we could say it was a dream because it was definitely, you would have thought like, I mean, I guess the energy was very different for everybody, but it was not that it wasn't like magical, but I don't know. I really don't.
It was a weird year, I feel like.
Yeah, because you would think Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces would bring this like intense, insane, like, I mean, definitely synchronicities and like higher, it was definitely very spiritual, I guess, like on the like awakening, like consciousness and stuff like that, like feeling really deep, but almost like where you could feel you're drowning.
Totally. And then when Neptune went retrograde, that was like so many spiritual tests, I felt like, and lessons and...
and karma.
There was a lot of karma happening.
And Jupiter's at 20, well, it's at 28 now, but regardless, it's at the end degrees, so, I mean, I don't have any, I mean, my Mars is at 25, but.
That's pretty close. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, I guess it
expansion.
Yeah, and it's my Mars, so I feel like it's good. It's actually on my asteroid Sphinx though, so I feel like I'm having like a lot of like past life, or I don't know if past life memories is the word, but like just downloads.
Yeah, like
of
integration.
like insights. Yeah, of like stuff that I'm like, okay, is this going to play out? Or like psychic, because Neptune's there too. And that's what another astrologer had told me. She's just like, you're in the next 6 months going to like definitely, with it being like, because Sphinx is like a starseed asteroid. In terms of it has to do with Egypt. So, I mean, it's like past life stuff. Okay, yeah, nobody's in the chat here. Is anybody saying anything?
Not really, no.
Okay.
They're just saying hi.
Hi, everybody. But yeah, no, Jupiter and Neptune, it's like any astrologer would have been like, oh my God, it's a dream. And it's all this like, but I mean, it definitely can be like delusion too. Of like things that you thought like that were going to manifest.
Yeah, or you could like not see people clearly and have people that aren't the best for you around.
So it's not that the energy was bad. It's just that it wasn't.
It's lessons.
Yes.
For those people. I felt like I learned a ton of lessons about who I was allowing around me and trusting the wrong people, which it can be really hard to trust the wrong people and then find out the truth.
Yeah. And I think it's good that we had it in our sign because it then cleared that energy out.
Yeah, it definitely did. I feel like I will never make those mistakes again with trusting certain people or like being naive
or like too discerning
glasses.
Of like of who they are. You know what I mean? And that is a topic that we can go into, which is gaslighting, but which is I mean I guess did we like kind of
we talked about it
on that, but there's so many different ways of like how somebody could. Like, what is an example of, obviously with not using any like names of your past, but just experiences or an experience that you can remember of that would be a good example for other people that are watching, like if they're going through something like that and they don't actually understand, is this like what a manipulation or like a narcissistic like tactic would be?
I feel once you start feeling that you're second guessing yourself and being like, I thought I knew this before and I was so sure of myself. And once you start feeling unsure of yourself, that's like a huge sign that someone's gaslighting you, because you should feel sure about how you feel about things and your opinions. Like if you start feeling like you don't know if you're like standing on solid ground about how you feel about things, that's like a huge sign to me.
No, that's good.
Gaslighting you.
And it's like if you don't feel safe, like energetically, you know what I mean? Like,
and you can't trust yourself anymore. That's the worst part about gaslighting is you stop trusting yourself, and then you're like, I don't know who I can trust, and like if I'm right about anyone in my life, because you start not even being able to trust yourself.
I say that all the time, like especially with what everybody's been through, just like collectively, all of us, but definitely Pisces have been through it with Saturn being in their 12th house as a sun sign, and which is like, deep, I mean, it's major lessons and wisdom and all of that, but it is also trust, trusting that it's like trusting and having faith that like
in yourself, your own.
Yeah. Judgment. And that it is taking you in the right direction because it's Saturn. So you just, but it's definitely like hard and in the 12th house, right? It's like can be hidden enemies.
Totally.
But it's also then, it can be soulmates and like soul family and like the higher octave of like we're here, right? We like manifested this. It's spiritual. It's like what we're supposed to, North Node Leo, like we've said.
Yeah, out of being passionate about something, because your purpose is connected to your passion. So whatever feels good and you're passionate about and gives you energy, that's like what you should be doing.
Absolutely.
Because then it's not draining and it doesn't feel like work. It's just like you're living in your purpose, your truth.
Right. You're in alignment.
Yeah.
And I always tell people that, especially, well, I mean, just in life, but like for the past, ever since 2015, like I've gone through major lessons and just like major like up leveling and stuff like that. I'm like, it's not about, the hardest part is what you just said. It's not about me trusting other people. The hardest part is like when you've literally had like been undermined by somebody or multiple people or whatever, and it's trusting yourself. Like that is the hardest thing, is to trust yourself, or to be able to even trust yourself again, to then be able to trust the people and the energy that's around you.
Yeah, that's why it's abuse, because it makes you like have such an unstable vision of like who you can trust and trusting yourself, which is the most important thing, is being able to trust yourself and like how you feel about things.
Right.
So it takes a long time to heal from like narcissistic relationships.
Oh,
and
very
being
much
able
so.
to-
And they're very, you know, and it's a karmic contract. And we said this last time where it was like they were meant to come into our lives because they needed our healing energy and we needed that lesson.
Yeah, to learn boundaries pretty much. And
Very much so.
I feel like you can only you only end up dating a narcissist if you have weak boundaries somewhere, because it will show you where you don't have boundaries and where you need to trust yourself more and be more confident. So it's a blessing in disguise, because then you would never have known that that's where you're weak if you didn't experience that
Oh,
relationship.
absolutely. Yeah. And that's, you're just not going to accept that into your life, and that you can recognize it. You can be discerning of it when you see it. And it's interesting because there is this, I can't even remember what deck it is, but it's called the Empath-narcissist paradigm.
Oh, I've heard of that word. Like
And
the paradigm, yeah.
that is a thing. It's a, like, if I was thinking in my head of a vision of what it would probably be, you know, like a water sign type energy, like an empathetic person, but that is a narcissist, and that uses, because it's both sides of the coin. So they're empathetic and they'll let you open up and, like, you know, go deep and all of that, but then 100% like in the next day or in the same conversation completely like flip it around. You know, and so that's where that, I would say, is probably one of the most, and when I say dangerous, I mean dangerous energetically of a type of person to be around, because it's like, it is really Neptune energy. You're like, oh my gosh, I do feel safe until they flip that around on you.
Yeah, they kind of use your energy against you. They learn things about you to use it against you, and like
absolutely, it's like as a weapon, you know, which again is any type of narcissist or, you know, gaslighting or manipulation or whatever. But it definitely. Oh yeah, there are people. Hi. Oh, thank you. They love the set.
I know.
It definitely, that is a dangerous, like energy to be around, because it's just like, it's hard to be discerning of it. You know what I mean?
In it, yeah.
Oh, 100%. Because it's just the empath-narcissist paradigm. It's a whole thing. Like, you can even like Google it and like read on it. It's like, it's kind of like the spiritual seducer, you know, people that, like, like that. It's like the dark spiritual side.
Yeah, especially when you're standing in your light, more dark will come towards you, trying to bring you down. That's like the hardest part of owning your light more and spreading more light, because more dark's gonna try to come at first. But once you are aware of it, I feel like it doesn't affect you as much, or you don't let it in as much.
No, 100%. And that, and again, it's just like makes you discerning, and then just going through that whole process again of trusting yourself. But I think that you do, the more that you're also around the right people and the right tribe, and just energy that does feel safe and that you feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
It's so important.
So I think that that is important for people to know, and that if you're in a situation like that, you know, that you, have to put up major boundaries. That's what it is. Major
I think
boundaries.
it all comes down to that, for boundaries.
What else? The aura thing, people really loved when you talked about that. And
I love auras.
I don't know like how much more you can actually like touch on it that we had already talked about, but I guess when my 3D perception of how people see auras would be like, you know, like, would it be like that? Like how there's like this, like, you know, like not like that vivid, but. Yeah,
it's like an essence around someone. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like an essence around them, so you can just see the color like kind of lining them. And I heard that anyone can see it if you just practice like looking at certain points and like training your eyes to it, which I don't know if that's true, but we all used to be like clairvoyant and psychic, and you can see that like in the Atlantis times and stuff.
Absolutely.
So we all have the ability like in our DNA if we activate it, and we're awakening more.
Like it's dormant, like that. The more, and probably the more people that you're around that are like on this journey too, like it might like come online more and be easier to like see that, because then some people might not actually like see that essence, like maybe not at first if that like gift hasn't been unlocked or came online, but they can like feel, you know, also. But I mean, gosh, seeing auras would definitely be helpful, like in terms of being able to discern of like energy, like that's around you.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. It can tell you a lot about people and their vibe. And I feel like with star signs, it shows that aura too. Like certain star signs have a certain aura. Like similar color of auras. Because Pisces usually have like a bluish aura. And then like
an indigo type of like a purpley blue.
I feel like it's lighter blue, most Pisces, unless you have other placements. And then Leo risings and Leos always have, like, the sun just hits them different. They have that, like, sunny, glowy aura, like, on them. If you look up celebrity Leo risings, they have that, like, they look like the sun. Like, their aura is, like, bright. Like the sun, it's like golden.
That is interesting. No, I could totally see that for sure. And I'm sure how somebody like carries themselves and whatever, because we were talking about that with like Mars energy. You can really tell when somebody with their Mars energy, how they hold themselves and everything like that, you know?
That's true.
And definitely Venus with how they take care of themselves.
Oh yeah, and I feel like Venus is kind of your beauty, so you kind of look like your Venus sign.
Yeah, I know. And see, your Venus sign, there's so many celebrities. Like Rihanna has Venus in Aries.
Oh, yeah.
Elizabeth Taylor, Venus in Aries.
Marilyn Monroe did.
Yes, I was going to say Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, there's like
her.
a lot of like glamour, like just not even just in Hollywood, but since we're like going with that narrative of like how people can understand it. There were so many. I feel like I saw the other day a post about it was Venus and Aries and like all of that. I mean, I know you had posted something, but then I had seen something somewhere else, and it was just like a whole list of you know, glamorous.
I love
like
that.
Really glamorous celebrities. Yeah,
which
with
you wouldn't
Venus
think
and Aries.
Aries would be glamorous, but maybe it's just because youthful energy. I don't know, or intense energy.
Yeah, it's youthful, it's intense, but it's also I think that like, you know, like when like an Aries like type of energy, like how they say Scorpio energy, you know, when it enters the room, like it's kind of like mysterious or whatever, but like Aries energy, it would be like, boom, I'm here. Like I'm sure it would be similar to like Leo energy, but maybe not as like I don't know actually what is the difference between Leo energy and Aries energy.
Yeah,
like,
that's interesting.
I would feel like they're probably very similar.
I feel like they are too, because they're both kind of stubborn fire in a way. They're both kind of stubborn in a way and intense. That's why Aries and Leo can get in fights and like get really passionate.
Yeah, but it's almost like they need to, like to like, it's like a release in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to express our fire energy. You can't you can't hold back fire.
And I feel like
to get to the top.
Leo's very creative, obviously, whereas I feel like Aries, I mean, I'm not that they're not creative, but I feel like when I think of Aries, I feel like I think of sports for some reason. Like people that are really like athletic and into like, that's how they release like their fire energy or whatnot.
That's true.
But also I know a lot of Libras that, like we said, that work out. And I was like, I don't know what that has to do with, we did it on a live, but then I'm like, well, duh, they're ruled by Venus. Yeah,
and Saturn's exalted in Libra, so it's kind of like working energy, and like they like nice things.
And what is in your sixth house? Your sun. So a sixth house sun, wouldn't that be like really into like health and like vitality and like, I mean, whether it doesn't have to do with working out, but like just all different types of different like healing modalities.
Yeah, and I can't go like more than a week without working out, or I get like overwhelmed mentally. Like I have
especially
to work
with your
out,
sun there.
Be healthy. Yeah, and I used to be like a health freak and have to be vegan, gluten-free, sugar-free. But I kind of got over it because it was overtaking my life. I was too obsessed with it. I feel like Virgo can get obsessive about being perfect about things, and it's just too much. I need to let go. That's which is good because David's 12th house, so he's the opposite house sun as me. So he kind of balances me, makes me not care about like the too much.
Yeah, no, because
healthy.
Virgo, as a Virgo rising, I went through a phase, and again, whatever transit it was so long ago, and I would literally go to the bookstore and read every like diet book, health book. Like I've tried every diet, every like fad thing. And it's funny because I have a lot of friends that have a lot of Virgo energy. And the ones that would be crash dieters would be Virgos.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Like they're like, we will try, like they'll go on any like or try any type of like, whether it's a quick fix or they're going to be very like dedicated to what, like whether it lasts or not, they're going to go like all in. Like they'll be the ones that's going to go buy a juicer and all the stuff to juice and maybe do it for a week and then be like, fuck this, you know, like this is way too much work.
Literally.
But yeah, like it's so interesting. Virgo does get so, or just sixth house energy. It does. It's like, it'll like, it's like it gets fixated on like one thing and will like, but in terms of like health, so whatever like that is, working out obsessively or dieting, or to me, being a Virgo rising, I'm like all or nothing. I'm like, honey, if I'm gonna eat good, then I'm going to work out, and if I'm not eating good, then I'm not working out. Like that's my whole thing. I'm like, there's no balance. Like I'm either dieting and working out, or I'm just pigging out and not working out.
It's probably the Pisces axis you're on, because Pisces is like not that much, but then Virgo's like so much that way. So it's probably you're like opposing that all the time.
And being with my, I mean. Yeah, but even though my rising isn't opposing any of my Pisces planets, it doesn't matter. It's still the opposite energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a catch-22. And a Virgo Pisces is like so similar yet so different. I always say Virgo is like you said, it's more like hands-on healing, but it's so mercurial. So it's like, it's head not aligning with your heart, Pisces. Like that's the biggest thing. And I already have Moon square Mercury in my chart. So that would be the biggest thing. Me aligning my mind with my heart. Like what I feel, you know? Because I feel like what you feel is what's real. Because your mind can talk you into or out of anything. It's the trickster.
Yeah, I've noticed Virgos can get really in their head and they're like, oh, I think people hate me because of this, or you're mad at me and all this. Like my Virgo friend always is like, I feel like you're mad at me, and I'm not mad at you. I don't know why you're thinking all these things in your head. That is just like, they get anxious. It's like the most anxious sign. So
that's why they have so many like digestive problems and stuff like that, because it like it's your nervous system. So they'll like, it'll just.
They're nervous.
And it literally, they just have so many like digestive issues and just like, Virgo is an interesting sign. Like, it really is.
It is. It's intense. They're kind of.
It's very smart. Like they definitely, Virgo's very similar to a Scorpio in terms of like that they can really dig into whatever it is. Like a lot of Virgos are detectives and, you know, like FBI profilers, like they can go deep into that stuff. But then again, I feel like they get fixated on like one, it's like this, it's like, you know, they're not seeing like the whole picture, I guess.
Yeah.
And Scorpio obviously can go deep, but then it's like, gets very emotional, where I feel like Virgo is emotional, but it doesn't show it.
Yeah, I think they're sensitive for sure.
Oh my God. So sensitive.
Someone asked, what is Pisces' perspective on the question the Peace Dealer asked, Sophia, what would you teach second graders? If you could teach second graders something like important, what would you teach them like that you think they should know?
Oh my God.
That's important.
I would be like, be yourself. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I'd just be like that. In life, like whatever you want to do, I hate saying the whole thing that like, oh, whatever you can be, because it's like, you know, not everybody's going to be an astronaut. So I don't like to like give this hope that, but I just feel like whatever you are truly passionate about is what you should pursue, no matter what anybody says and tells you. It, whatever you're very passionate, like literally internally drives you, is what you should do.
Totally.
I can't even remember what your answer was on that one.
I think I said something about astrology. I think I was like, I think everyone should learn astrology. It should be taught in school because it helps you understand yourself, your purpose, like why you're crazy in certain areas, or like why you're,
like 100%. I mean, like I was telling you how I'm like moving and all that. I'm like, I should, like, it doesn't, I can pray all I want about it. Like, oh, I hope that this situation changes. But it's like, nope, it's right there in my astrology that I have to pay attention to and like, no, okay, like I have to take action on this and whatever. Like astrology will tell you even if it's not so clear cut, you know what the energy being felt in whatever house it's in, the planet, like you just know that some type of energy is going to manifest there.
Yeah.
Whether good or bad, but if it's a square or an opposition, I mean, probably going to be a lot, you know, harder than if it was a trine or a conjunction. Well, I don't know. Conjunctions can even be very...
Yeah, it's kind of too intensive, the energy. It's like...
Yeah. Do you know any of the... I always like to talk about, like, aspects that people have with... Because I think that that's, like, powerful. Like, connections that people have with whether it's friends, lovers, family, or whatever. Do you know, like, what maybe one of the strongest, like for instance, like if somebody had like a Venus conjunct Pluto to like somebody, like that's going to be like crazy. Like, do you know of anybody in your past that like you've had like a crazy, like, you know, like that, like a Venus connection with somebody's moon, or it could even be like one that's like, I guess not, that would be like a Saturn or something. Well, you said somebody had their Saturn on your South Node, which...
Yeah, I think it was like almost the same degrees, the Saturn. Their Saturn
and that is very karmic, and you can feel that.
And I met him on his Saturn return, which was a Saturn in Aquarius, so that was weird. Like when Saturn was going into Aquarius.
Yeah.
And like going towards his return.
And definitely
degrees.
synchronistic.
Yeah, it was super weird. But I've also had, well, someone's Venus was in Sag, which was like conjunct my moon. So Venus and moon things are good. Like or like if my moon, if their moon
Venus was in Sag and it was conjunct your moon. Yeah, no, that's definitely that's intense. That's like a nice energy. You know,
they kind of understand each other. Yeah, you want the moon and Venus to like each other, I feel like, in your chart.
Absolutely. And it being in Sag, that would just be like, right. Like, I mean, because I don't know, when I think of Sag, it's like you just want to go.
Travel, have fun. It's like uprooted energy. I kind of feel that being a Sag moon is like uprooted. I'm never just like stable in one place. I'm like uprooted, going everywhere.
And just like not like
grounded.
Well, yeah, it's not grounded. It's mutable, but like also learning like so much of just like so many different subjects of like higher mind though. You know what I mean? Like, because it is more where it's like Pisces is more spiritual. Yeah. And I feel like Sag is definitely more like, it's more like preacher, like religious, or like
trying to learn the study of it, but Pisces is just like releasing to it, like letting God.
They're just like, we pray to everybody or just call everything in, or, you know, whatnot. It's like, it's similar, but yet so different, because they are both mutable too.
But they square. Like
and Sag is like not, like I know so many Sages that do not, men or women, that are not like, they don't really like to settle down. Like they love to have people around, but they don't really like to be in a, they don't. Whereas the Pisces like wants to be like committed. You know what I mean? So that would be like the different part. Yeah, any Sag I ever dated, it was fun. It was similar to like a Gemini vibe, very fun. But then it was like, okay, are we committing or not?
Yeah.
And it's like, no. And it's like, okay, then this isn't fun anymore. You know what I mean?
I think it gives Sag anxiety to feel tied down because they want to be able to just move around.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting. I've heard Virgo is the nervous system and Aquarius is the nervous. Yeah. And that's the funny thing is that I have I have my Mercury in Aquarius in my 6th house with my South Node. So
that's cool.
But I'm just like always like, I guess I do. I don't feel like I have anxiety, but I definitely have like, I feel like I have this like Uranus energy all the time of like, you know, what's going to happen, or so that could be, and then being a Virgo rising. So no, but Virgo is definitely, it's very nervous. Like, it overthinks.
Yeah, with all the Mercury.
And like you said, like, are you mad at me or this or that? Like, no. It's it really it gets in its head too much. Like Virgos would be and it's so crazy because it's like it's a paradox of an earth sign because earth signs are grounded.
Yeah.
And yet it's so mercurial.
Yeah.
So it's like it has the vibration of a Gemini, but it's Earth.
Yeah, it's like the feminine version of Mercury.
Right.
So feminine's more of an overthinker and sensitive and everything.
And Virgo is like the goddess. Like she's like, the harvest, the
Virgin
wheat.
Mary.
Yes. So I know Virgo is a paradox to me, honestly. It really is.
Yeah.
But I mean, Virgos are definitely natural healers for sure. Like
Yeah,
they're definitely
they're very
natural
healing.
healers. And I feel like they're very,
Purifiers.
like they are very, like their energy, even if they are nervous and stuff, like you can't necessarily tell. It's like in their own time, they're like nervous. I mean, my dad's a Virgo and he's like he's like, oh, I was thinking about this. And I'm like, don't worry.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Stop.
Pisces aren't in our heads. We're like in our emotions, but we can also overthink our emotions. We overthink emotionally and get caught in our emotions and too much of emotion that's overwhelming.
Oh,
Like we're the same as
right.
Virgos
100%.
that way.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what it's like to be any other sign because I'm so Pisces and I'm just like, are you not feeling what I'm feeling? You don't want to merge with me?
Exactly. That's why we
What?
struggle with boundaries. We want to
Right.
merge.
Because there are no boundaries. It's Neptune. It's just like, right. I mean, you want to go into the God knows where. I don't think Sag doesn't want to commit. I'm in Sag Venus, and we just want to commit to the right person. And if you're not, no, I do agree with that. I would say that, I don't know, I see a lot of Sages that commit like later on in life. Yeah, when they
if it's
and
the
you
right
need
person.
somebody that like stimulates you. Like, let's be honest, you definitely need like. I feel like Sag does, like, I feel like Aquarius would be, because that's just like, yeah, and it's
New
not
boundaries.
super, I mean, I'm sure that Sag can be emotional, but it's just like, they need to have somebody that is gonna like adventure with them, and not even that, it just has to be like this crazy adventure, but just in everything, because like Sag wants to be stimulated in the mind too. You know what I mean? Like they want to
Learn
go
new things, yeah.
just be like, hey, you want to do this today, and like let's go. Like
Totally.
they would never, a Sag and a Taurus, oh my god. Have you ever dated a Taurus? We do need
Yeah, I
fire
have.
and I feel like Sag does get along with Gemini and Pisces and all that, but like in terms of like dating, that would be, yeah, because the Pisces wants to merge, and like Sag is a wild card. It really is. Sag is a total wild card, but they're fun. Like you can definitely travel with any Sag. They'll be like, let's go.
It's exciting.
And so that's why I use the Taurus, because they'd be like, oh no.
They want to be comfortable. That's why they quincunx. They're the most different 5 signs apart.
100%. Like it's just like, let's go do this, and it's like, you're right, comfortable, or they're like, okay, but then it takes like
it takes so long.
it's like, all right,
takes slow time.
I'll be there, in 2 hours, and it's 10 hours later and they're still not there. Yeah. But Sag definitely needs to be like, I mean, but Gemini, if anything, a Gemini and a Sag is the opposite, but they would work well together because Gemini needs to be stimulated.
Yeah, I've seen Gemini and Sag couples. They seem like they have so much fun.
Because the oppositions can work too. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just in a different way. Gemini's like wants to take off, like that's why if you've ever met a Gemini that doesn't talk, it's like, what? That's
that'd
weird.
be weird.
Yeah.
I've never met a Gemini that doesn't talk a lot.
I know, like,
but-
does your mom, is she like she can hold a conversation?
Oh my God, yes. She talks so much. She'll talk for hours.
Yeah.
If it's something she's passionate about, she'll literally get up in the center of the room and start talking about it. Like, she is like the Gemini talker. Like, talk about things for hours.
And they're
She'll
like
debate
definitely
anyone.
like they can walk into a room and just like talk to any, they can make friends with anybody.
I literally have a video of her at my uncle's wedding. We were like at this Airbnb after or whatever, and with all our family, and she's like up at the center of the room, like talking and debating people. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's so
funny.
my mom.
Yeah.
She like goes to happy hour every night, and like she goes to all of her favorite like places, and it's like, but she's like, I need to go with somebody. I'm like, why? You know everybody that works there.
They could be friends with everyone.
You already know everybody. And if you didn't, literally anybody that sat down, you would start talking to.
Yeah, literally.
But I do
That's
think
what's
it's
cool about Gemini.
Yeah,
fun.
no, they are fun. You know what I mean? I think it's just like that, it takes them, even if they do commit, you know, it's because, again, they have to be, Sag and Gemini have to be stimulated in different ways, you know, but I do think that they are, like, I think that that's probably one of the best oppositions that would be good matches.
I think so too.
I do like, though, that your mom, like, is super spiritual, though, like, that she got you, like, tarot readings and all that stuff that you talked about last time.
Yeah, she is very spiritual. Well, like, she's into the stuff. She's always been into, like, witchy stuff and spiritual stuff, but I don't know if she's, like, super spiritual. But she notices the patterns with signs, like, zodiac signs and stuff, and she does notice it and think it's real just because she's noticed, like, her friends are always Leos and, like, Geminis, and she notices how that's who she vibes with.
Like, how the energy, like, affects her. And like you said, she has a Jupiter in Pisces, so definitely, you know what I mean? Like, that is Jupiter in Pisces. I mean, that is definitely, like, a vibe of, like, spirituality that is, you know, that even if you're not, like, super into it, you would still, like, dabble in it, like, be, like, curious about it.
Totally.
Because she's a Gemini, so she would be curious about it.
Yeah, they just like to learn about all different types of things. Not necessarily believe in it, but she likes to learn about it. And, like, maybe it's real, but...
And a lot of Geminis are insanely, like, you know, spiritual. And you said her Mercury's in Cancer, so you know what I mean? Like, that's also, like, very, like... well, it's very spiritual, just, like, on a different level, like, about like home, like, being very intuitive about your home and stuff like that.
Like maternal.
Yeah, I love that. I wish my mom would have taken me to get tarot readings. I probably would have known so much more about myself.
Yeah, it is cool.
What else? What were we going to talk about?
We were going to talk about Starseeds.
I was going to talk about this.
Arcturians.
Yeah, here. So let me go to... Well, I wanted to talk about, okay, because that's what we were talking about last time was, hold on, let me get rid of this. So Sophia is a Libra rising, a 3-degree Libra rising. So the supergalactic center, because we were talking about this, so you're like, we were talking about the Palladian energy, but which it doesn't matter because the M87, the black hole, which is the supergalactic center, like, it's just like this vast, I mean, it is like constantly funneling in, like, downloads, psychic knowledge, like, I mean, it's a black hole of just, you know, like, and it's your rising, so, I mean, yeah, you're definitely, that's probably why you have a lot of, like, vivid dreams and, like, stuff, besides just being a Pisces, you know what I mean? But it's, if anybody has any degrees of 0 to, like, 5 of Libra, that is the super galactic center. That's crazy. So it's the Arcturian energy of, like, their, like, master... Or is it Arcturian? God, am I, like, now... I might be botching this.
Yeah, you said it was Arcturian, which is interesting because I was always drawn to the Pleiadians, and so I never learned about any starseeds as much than the Pleiadians because I just instantly felt drawn towards that. So I was like, oh,
right. But remember, like, but then when David did your, I can't remember what that. That chart was called. It was, like, important degrees in your life, important. Yeah, but it's, oh my God. It'll come to me. It'll come to me what it was, like, this, lifetime arcs. Yeah. Because then there's just so many layers of astrology. I can't remember it all. But lifetime arcs, that's when you were conceived at 0 Gemini, which is Palladian energy. So you already are Palladian. And then having
I always felt them.
That... you're rising in the supergalactic center, which they are master healers at trining that like, what did you say that you had your rising trines the Pleiades already? So it's like, it
trines them,
It's just, it's so very like energy. Crystal, starseed, like rainbow, all of these terms that they use, like indigo, child.
Yeah, I love indigo.
You know what I mean? 100%. And I've always resonated with being in indigo, but I feel like a lot of Pisces are just like indigo in general because it goes like, you know, with like,
I feel like,
they say like indigos came in like the 70s and then like the the like 80s, but I feel like they're all, and that like the crystal children and the rainbows are more of like this new age. But I mean, they're all like the same. There's just these different, you know, which I mean,
Starseeds.
there's these different energies, but yet that are also the same, you know, but
they're just different waves of the energy, I guess they say, but they could also trickle in like at any year, I feel like. Whatever.
No,
called.
absolutely. But like, I think, because I have this really good, here we go. She's an amazing astrologer. Her name is the Cosmic Space Witch, and I
feel like I've heard of that name.
She's amazing. She is like super galactic. She's got her Mercury conjunct Pluto. She is Libra, Mercury conjunct Pluto in Scorpio, and so she's like deep. But she is she goes deep into like all the starseed stuff, and so I like how she talks about the way she breaks down. So we're gonna you know, give her credit on this, because so she talks about like there are 3 waves of volunteers. Let me do this.
Dolores Cannon talked about that too, and she would like
and that's
she
where
put people in hypnosis. Like, that's crazy. That's their realest, most pure higher self state that's channeling that through.
And that is where she had like really researched, like a lot of this is like in her own, like she has obviously wrote it in her own way, but it is from like Dolores Cannon, because it says, I have discovered many star children all over the world. The reason they are here is to act as the conduits of energy needed in the evolution of the earth and raise human consciousness to a higher dimension. That's by Dolores
That's why
Cannon.
we came here, yeah.
And it said that wave 1, the wave 1 was the baby boomer hippie generation that began incarnating on Earth during World War II, with the majority coming after the war's dramatic end. And it said this group of souls had the most difficult time adjusting. These starseeds coming from planets and places so different from that of 3D Earth struggled to find their place in a society so out of touch with reality. We are a species with amnesia. And it said for that first wave, it was a very dark time in the evolution. And unfortunately, those souls immediately fell into the dense earth and the inherent karma, like the generational ancestral karma that it brought. And then
it would be hardest for them too, because the earth was even more dense when that happened. So they were like the way makers, like the first ones to really try to raise that energy. So it would be probably hardest for that.
Yeah,
wave.
and that's why a lot of, you know, baby boomers, like that's our parents' generation. That's why a lot of them are not, you know, woke, because of the conditioning, like the conditioning and how dense it was.
Yeah.
And then it says wave 2, the transition to life on Earth for the second wave was much easier. These souls tend to work behind the scenes and are generally focused on helping others and normally go unnoticed. According to Dolores Cannon, second wave starseeds are antennas, beacons, generators, and channels of energy. They have come in with a unique energy that greatly affects others. They don't have to do anything. They just have to be. These starseeds are often a walking paradox, as their energy is intended to be shared with others, affecting everyone they come in contact with. Yet they hate being around people, enjoying time at home more than anything. These starseeds need to learn how to share themselves with the world, affecting change as they do. That's the wave that I'm on. And I mean, I love to be around people, but I just assume that I love to be at home because, you know, I'm a Pisces, and because like I can feel energy so intensely. So sometimes I'm just like.
Also, isn't a projector your projector? So isn't that your centers are more open? So you feel the energy more?
Yeah, I have not like. The only thing that I really have defined is my. I only have like 2 centers defined. My solar plexus, and then I don't even know the other one. Everything else is just like open, right? So I just. It's like I am a Piscean projector that I'm just like. I can, you can
feel everything.
Yeah, and I also think that a lot of like the way that I say, just for me personally, but how I see like projectors is that they are like seers. They can see like how a lot of situations are going to play out, just energetically, or not necessarily like see into the future. It's just because the energy that they're around and whatever situation's going on, they kind of just like know how that's going to play out, whether it's tomorrow or in 20 years, you know?
Yeah.
So it is kind of like like being a seer of like seeing into the future, but not, it's just feeling it. And then it said that the wave 3, this wave of souls is still incarnating today. They have come in with all the knowledge they need on a deep unconscious level. They are advanced souls equipped with a profile. So that's the thing about the rainbows, the crystals, and all the kids that are coming in now. Like, they're coming in and they just know.
Yeah, they're like,
they're already woke. They already like know.
Activation. Yeah.
100%. And like, especially as like just being like, you know, babies and children, and like, are you kidding me? I would never know how to work. Like, my old boss that I worked for, he was like, you know, 75, and he had like 6 grandkids, and he's like, yeah, I don't even, like, half the time I don't even know how to work my remote, and my like 2-year-old grandkid will come in and it's like setting up the TV and like doing everything like on the iPad, and like they're very like advanced in like the technology and stuff, and maybe because that's the generation that they're coming into, but just in general, they're like already psychic antennas. You know, they don't really need to remember who they are. They just know.
Yeah.
And it said these starseeds are highly intelligent and need challenges to keep them interested. They vibrate at a much higher rate and are often misdiagnosed and medicated for ADHD.
That's me.
This should be avoided at all costs. These souls also had a very difficult time, and many fell into addiction. But this like also is wave 2, because I was diagnosed with ADD, and they wanted to put me on Ritalin and like all of that stuff when I was, you know, back in the 80s. So I mean,
they overlap. You could be born in any decade and still be the later Starseed.
Yeah, or maybe even have like traits of like all of these, you know what I mean? So she's amazing. So I wanted to read that, Cosmic Space Witch, if you guys want to check her out, because definitely going to like, she just, like how she talks about the awakening process, and like I'll just say this like really fast. She says like, it's her own personal experience, but I do feel like a lot of people that this is how it's happened, whether it's been in all these stages. But it's like, she says stage 1, it's a life-altering experience, usually a dark night of the soul. It's a karmic purge that kickstarts your awakening. It can be brought on by nervous breakdown, near-death or psychedelic experience, kundalini activation, or a union with a twin flame, or a combination of several of the above events at once, or however it manifested. And then stage 2, change of beliefs. Stage 3, spiritual awareness and like synchronicities, whether it's numbers,
that
nature, like, you know, like
so many numbers when I was like 19 and going through the first
yes,
real spiritual
like
awakening.
coming online.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's like when that's happening, you're just like, you know, I don't know. When it was happening for me, I'm like, what does this mean? But then obviously as it goes on, and you're not necessarily on that spiritual high, it's like you're like, I just know that it means I'm just on the path, and like just keep going.
Yeah,
like I don't.
It's not as a big deal to see angel numbers after a while, but at first you're like, wow, I see them everywhere.
Yeah, it just gives you comfort. I feel like, you know. So yeah, she just, and then attention, stage 4, attention towards beauty and love, like more like unconditional love and loving yourself. Stage 5, your spiritual gifts really come online. And then stage 6, it's like union with your higher self.
Yes.
So yeah.
And then you're like a light worker, because that's why we came here, to spread the light. So then you step into the,
like after you've gone through that dark, you know, which I mean, I feel like we're always integrating that though, you know, that's not something that, the dark night of the soul is different stages. It's not just like you can go through like one big karmic purge and then you're like, okay, cool. Like okay, now if I have like a baby one, I'll know how to handle it, you know? But it's an ego death.
Yeah, totally. And David showed the Mayan calendar thing where the stars were coming into the earth. So the Starseeds, like, were like the stars coming and planting into the earth. And now we're at the stage, like the Mayan stage, that we're going back into the sky. The stars are like realizing who we are and realizing we are stars and starseeds and like higher spiritual beings. So we're going back into the higher dimensions of the sky. We like came in here from the sky and now we're going back.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Realms.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, and that's really cool. And yeah, he can decode all that crazy shit in such a unique way, but where people do actually understand it. You know what I mean?
The Mayans had it figured out. They knew the calendar. It was like on point of what's going on. So it's a trip.
100%. And all of that stuff is like connected to Egypt and you know, just like how the pyramids are like aligned to like Orion and Sirius and you know, it's like, come on. Like it's none of it is. I feel like 3D people that are not conscious call everything a coincidence, where obviously spiritual people are like, it's synchronicity. It's synchronistic. It's like, because nothing is a coincidence.
Yeah, they said that coincidences don't even exist. It's not possible because there's only one incidence. So coincidence isn't like possible.
Right.
There's only, everything's connected. Everything is related and like shows you why it's there. There's always a reason.
It's a quantum entanglement that we're just remembering, like, our true self. And that's when you do, it's like you don't even really have to, I feel like, you have to get away from karmic energy that like obviously is like wanting to control you, whether that's family, friends, lovers, coworkers, whatever it is. But then after time, that just falls away. So you don't even need to be like worried about, like, I don't really feel that I had to, I had to let a lot go. But in terms of like, it's like, not that I don't like love those people, but it's just like, right, I just don't resonate with your energy. You know what I mean? So what are we really gonna it's hard for me not to talk about in some sense every day, even if I'm just like going to get my nail. Like I'm like, oh, what's your sign?
Yeah,
like, oh, you're
literally
going through that, like, and it's just second nature for me. I don't even know that I'm probably doing it.
Yeah, it's just your soul, like who you are. So.
Yes. And then I feel like I'm like slowly maybe like activating, like everybody in my building, I know all their signs. And I'm like, and I mean, it's only, there's not like a ton of crazy people because there's only like 12 units, but I definitely know every one of them. And I would say, I know all their signs. And I'm just like, oh yeah, you're an Aries. Oh, well, Jupiter's in your sign, so that's good. That's abundant. Like, you know, and they probably think, I'm fucking nuts. But then it's funny because then they'll slowly come around and be like, so what does that actually mean?
No, literally. And it's like, people from my past, from when I was like 19 or whatever, my old friends, they literally have had so many of them message me and be like, I understand what you're talking about now. Like my good Libra friend, she messaged me like a couple months ago and she's like, thank you for always being spiritual and talking about this stuff. I'm like awakening to it now and I understand it. And it's like, it's so cool to see people awaken to it because it is the truth, because then why are so many people awakening to it and then understanding it? And it's just like really cool to, because people will make you feel weird. Like my friends always made fun of me and thought I was crazy, but now they're realizing it's true. So
and I just really think that you're an activator for them. Like you're meant, like you are that soul in that group to, whether they're going to accept it or not right then, it's like you're activating them in some way, like you said with your friend, like, and that just like makes your heart happy, you know, like knowing that does make a difference. Like it doesn't have to be like a huge, you know, thing. It's like it just took that person a while to be like, right, like I appreciate Sophia and her fucking psychic, spiritual, like amazing soul, you know? So that's just, and that comes so much more online the more that you're just like in that. It's just so natural.
Yeah, it's just who I am. I can't be any other way. So I can't change my mind or like what I believe, but like that's Pisces. We can't change our beliefs. Like we have a lot of strong beliefs and we can't change them.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
I feel like
we are our beliefs. we live to believe.
If I worked in a 3D job, like I literally would. I would be like, what's your sign? What's this? And if they're like, you're crazy, I'd be like, that's fine. What is your sign? Like, and I just start like I can't not. I mean, I can't not talk about something that does, even if it's not astrology, something like that has to do with whether it's past lives or soulmates or whatever, you know what I mean? Because it is like they say that like Palladian energy is like the cosmic cheerleader or whatever, you know. It's just but I just think it's just you're just being yourself. And like you weren't for so long, you know, because of like the conditioning and people telling you that you're ADD and you're this and you're that it's like, no, it's everybody that I'm around. Yeah. That is the problem.
Yeah,
you know
the energy on Earth, it's really hard for us. Even Teal Swan said she was so depressed and suicidal, and then that's what she realized because she's so sensitive and like spiritual and knew all this world was like not aligned to that. So it's really difficult for us.
The Saturn karmic world, which I didn't even ever think of it like that until you said that on the live and in the last episode. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Yes, this is a Saturn world.
Yeah.
That we are, or Saturn Earth.
They say that like Saturn and the moon make a certain vibration that creates this realm in a way that's super like controlled and like more reptilian, I guess. They say that like, they use that energy together and create this reality.
Well, yeah, and then some people don't even think that like the moon's real and that there's like, you know, so I mean, who knows? It's like, I can only go there, you know, in my, probably in my dreams or like daydreaming or whatever. I mean, I would love to remember my dreams. Sometimes I do. I was dreaming last week and I was like, but I was in a different environment. So maybe that's why. Maybe it's like to the environment.
Yes, I think it is too, because before I was in a relationship, I wasn't remembering my dreams, but now I feel more safe, like, so I can sleep better. So I really think that it's good for women to sleep next to a man that they feel safe around, because you feel you can dream more and you're more relaxed, so you can remember your dreams. I really think that's what it is, because we have this like layer of anxiety as women, not feeling safe even if we don't realize it. Right. If we're not being protected.
Oh, totally. And just energetically, because so many people will be like, well, what do you mean by being safe? And it's like, I mean, energetically, just being safe. Like, it doesn't mean that I like, you know, have to like be in fear for my life that something's like gonna happen. It's just, no, it's just energy, like knowing, and you just know, like also going through so many experiences with so many different like people, it's like, and especially in relationships, it's like, even if you know that that person's soul is like really like, you're just like, you can see it and it's piercing and it's like, oh my God, like please wake up. But that in this reality, they're just, you know, they don't even know who they are or can remember who they are or whatever. Like, you know, basically like pulling somebody up from like the underworld. That's, I think, also the hardest thing for people, like when they're awakening, because they're just like, God, like I can feel who you are, but like I don't feel safe because I know that there's like such a darkness in you that I'm not gonna, like my love's not going to save you. And you know, I hope that maybe I activated you to like want to, you know yourself. But it is like that. I think that that's one of the hardest things of like waking up and being around people that you really care about and know that you know that they are like their soul is really good, but that they're like I mean, I really do think that like not a lot of people, but that there's definitely souls that, and obviously the energy that they're around, that it's like they're, you know, that they have dark energy attached to them.
Yeah, like, it can affect you for sure, especially when you're dreaming, because you're so open energetically when you're dreaming, so you feel that more. Yeah. And then just, it's just so crazy. Like I think about that all the time and I'm like, that is like a real thing, you know? Yeah, it is. And it's like, because I'm like, am I just telling myself that to like make an excuse for somebody that like maybe they're not really good, but I'm like, no, because I feel that they are. Like I can tell when somebody's like really not, you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, I can't. I mean, I want to say there's hope for everybody, but some people, you know, it's some
like
people won't choose that in this lifetime. Right. But I think there is light and dark to everyone, maybe. Yeah. But some people just go into that darkness, and that's how they survive in this world. They choose that over the light. Yeah, more of like the reptilian energy and all of that. 100%. And that's just where, you have trusting yourself again and being discerning, but we would never be able to like know that if we, again, like we said, if we didn't go through those experiences. Yeah, it was for a reason. We'd just be like floating through, be like, not aware of it. You're all so amazing, you know? Exactly. Is anybody saying anything in the... Not much, no. Let me go back onto the whatchamacallit, because I'm like, I feel that... Oh, here we go. Where is it? Oh, YouTube. 12. Let's see. Are you guys saying anything on here? Yes, it is also if you're under the influence. Well, yeah, that's a big thing. That, you know, that's definitely... Do you feel like there's NPCs, like only the Starseeds are real souls, or like because I've heard from different spiritual people that there's NPCs. So like,
what's an NPC?
It's like a non-player character. So most of the population, or like a big percentage of it, they don't have souls. They're not real. They're just outward projections of our like psyche or something, so that we can play this game of life and like experience it, but they're never gonna evolve or awaken because they're not real souls. So there's only like 144,000, or there could be more. I don't know,
like
that
a
are real
walk-in
souls.
soul?
No, it's different. They say that it's NPCs, so like a big percentage of the population aren't there to wake up. They're just there to be reflections to us, to make us wake up more. And they're just reflections of our own inner psyche that aren't real souls. They're like people, but they don't have souls. I guess they're not real. But I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that a lot. So there's only like the Starseeds are the ones on this awakening journey with real souls and learning are the real ones. And then the rest are just background players to make us awaken and play this game. That there's not actually that many people that are real.
That is a very, I could definitely resonate with that with certain situations in my life. I guess I've never...
They said that's those people that are just programs. They're just programs into the computer. That's like obviously an organic computer. It's not really a computer, but they're just programs that will never wake up. They're not real, and they're just there to
give us these lessons.
Yeah,
and reflect back to us maybe like the light and dark within us.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Probably
if it's true,
more
but a lot of people
dark.
believe in that. Yeah,
that is interesting. I mean, why couldn't there be that?
Yeah.
But they would be
ones and zeros
in this
programs.
avatar.
Yeah, so they're people. They seem like completely people, but behind that all, they're not real. They're not souls. They're just there to help us wake up or play this game and like fill in the background, like NPC.
Oh my God, I'm going to have to go down a rabbit hole with this.
I'll send you videos.
Yes.
There's this video that's really trippy. This guy makes them. I think he's a Pisces, and he makes all these videos about NPCs. And I was like, it's kind of trippy.
It's almost like kind of like would be like in a video game.
Because it kind of is. We kind of are in a AI reality, like a reality that's kind of a game. It kind of is a game in a way.
Yeah.
So.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I could definitely, I don't know why that wouldn't be, I could wrap my head around that. Yeah.
Yeah, because they just refuse to like awaken or evolve, but that's just their program.
Because they're not supposed to.
Yeah, they're just programmed into the system, which kind of makes sense because there are a lot of people that are programmed that just don't want to wake up or aren't spiritual.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No, I don't know.
trippy.
What do you guys in the chat think about that? I choose dark and heal with moonlight. Well, yeah. I feel too much. Why are you a Scorpio? Oh, you're a moon in Pisces. Well, yeah, but
I love a Pisces moon.
Yeah.
They're so fun.
Yeah, a Pisces moon just has to be, anything with any Pisces, you just have to be discerning. But again, after you've gone through a lot of lessons, like
Yeah.
we were talking about that in the live that we did about how like Scorpios like go through so much like literal death and just like crazy. I don't know. All of my Scorpio friends like have been through and when I even say paranormal, whether it's literal paranormal stuff, I mean, it's 8th house, it's Pluto. If it's not that, it's like these experiences that you're just like, what is going on here? Like you probably are in some like video game that's dark. And then, but then that's where it's like, I wonder if like the Pisces Scorpio vibe is always like between friends or like lovers or whatever is so strong because it's like 12th house, 8th house. Like they're so similar.
Yeah, they are in a way. They're very metaphysical and like spiritual and stuff.
Yes. And like transformation, letting go, death and rebirth and like all of that. So they are so similar, yet I guess so different just in their vibration. Because Pisces can be very, like they always say Scorpios are very like secretive, but I think that it's more so that that's how people, they can be, but I think it's because they're always like observing and like they're kind of like behind the scenes, but Pisces can be like that too. Pisces can be very secret. Like not where I feel like they're wanting to be secretive, but it's just like maybe because they feel so much that.
Yeah, we don't let everything out, I guess. I kind of feel like it's hard to get information out of a Pisces when you first meet them. They hold a lot of stuff back. Like, it's hard to really understand what they're thinking or feeling or what's going on in their life.
Because we probably don't
we don't even know how to define it. We're just like in this whirlpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I wonder what it's like to be an air sign. Like, just a total, like, air sign in your head. Like, because, like, you know, like, I wonder what it's like to be, but I don't know. Do they say that about us? Like, what would it be like to be a water sign?
I think so. Yeah, and I've noticed Scorpios just walk in a room and they can suss out the whole situation. They just can see into the entire dynamic going on.
It's like very penetrating, where I don't feel like a Pisces is like that. It's penetrating on a different level. Like, people definitely find Pisces mysterious, but they also find, you know, so it's the same, but yet a different, maybe a more of like a lighter versus darker like vibration.
Yeah, I think so.
You know?
Yeah.
But maybe that's why so many like people with like like Scorpio or Pisces placements, like why they are like, it's like a strong connection because they just kind of like get that unseen, like no words type of, it's just like an energy exchange.
It's an emotional connection. Yeah. That's just completely
100%.
Like, not verbal. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and probably like super like telepathic and stuff like that. Fixed and mutable energy depends on the deacons. Yeah.
They said it would be cool if you interviewed people from each sign to gain their perspective. I heard someone else comment that. I think that would be really cool. We go like from Aries to Pisces. Yeah. That would be cool. If we know enough people that want to be interviewed, I'd be down, that are live here, that would be cool. Because it'd be better in person. I like in-person interview, like on our show. That'd be really cool.
Right. I mean, we can always like do stuff like online or whatever, but anybody in, you know, the, I don't know, California area, like that's in Southern California. Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Why not? Yeah, because every sign is so complex and so different and vibes. So, I mean, live in Planet Utah.
Oh, Utah. Yeah. I love a Utah.
Live in Planet Utah. Air planets with Pisces ascendant. People think I've got some deep spiritual reservoir. Oh, I like how you said that.
Yeah, I think that's Pisces.
No, I just want the facts. Air planets with Pisces ascendant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
air signs like the facts of things and the logical explanation of things.
It would be cool if y'all interview people. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would love that. I'd want to know every sign's perspective on how they perceive really themselves. Because, we should get David in here and ask him how he perceives himself.
Yeah, we'll do Leo. He'll be our Leo.
Right. And air, I just feel like air is right. It's mercurial. You want to know the facts for sure. What is both of your north and south node? We're both north node Leo, both south node Aquarius.
We're both north node Leo, but she's 12th house north node. I'm 11th house north node. So it's a little different, but still like metaphysical, like, because they say that the 11th house rules astrology and metaphysics and psychedelics, so it's kind of like a Pisces almost. But your 12th house will be very spiritual and the ending, the undoing.
Yeah, and I feel like I've read somewhere where it's like hard to like I mean, I guess I understand this now because it's like the 12th house. It was funny because I had a client the other day that was like, she was telling me the planets that she has, or she has some type of, she has this asteroid Reiki in her 12th house. And I was like, yeah, she has Merlin and Reiki. And I was like, yeah, in the 12th house, your energy is just like healing, like to people. But she's like, but do people know it because it's in the 12th house? And I was like, why do you keep saying that? And then I'm like, because people think of the 12th house as the hidden.
Yeah, it's like in the background.
Right, it's subconscious. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I could see where you would think that, but I'm like, no, people would feel that from you, that you're just like a natural healer. You know what I mean? That it's like, because she wants it to be recognized. But I'm like, well, yeah, girl, that's just something that with time that will. But like me having the North Node and the 12th, I don't can't even say what that is. Like, I feel like it's hard to
define, maybe,
and access it.
Yeah.
Like I have to go through a lot of spiritual tests. And I don't like calling it tests because it's just, I'm on my path, but yeah, and I have to be very discerning of like everybody around me. I mean, thank God it's only my North Node that's there, but it is an interesting, it's interesting to have it there because I think that, like, I know I'm on my path, but that it's not one thing that is like leading it there, you know, like it's all like these like spiritual, like I don't even actually know if it like will get to like one place. I think it's just a culmination of like the 12th house of like all of my experiences from a past life that are happening in this life. And it's just kind of like, who are all these players in the game?
Yeah, and they say like 12th house suns, they play a lot of characters, like they'll go into different characters because 12th house, it's all the energies. So you could be like, you could channel any energy. And
oh yeah, it would be a very shape-shifting energy. 100%.
So with your North Node there, yeah, it could be, you could go into any energy with that.
Yeah, and I think that like I definitely know that it's a spiritual path, but it can be very creative, and it's like, you know, I always want to be in the higher octave of that 12th house. It's just me obviously being discerning of all, and people that, you know what I mean, like have, that's the other thing that we'll talk about that on the next episode about in synastry. Yeah, in synastry, because composite, that's like going to a whole nother, because composite is important. That's like how your relationship plays out.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Which a lot of people don't look into composite, and I think that that's so interesting, which I can attest to. Probably until a year ago, I would like dabble in it, but I wouldn't pay attention to it. Now I pay attention to it because it's like, yes, that is how the energy is absolutely going to play out.
Yeah.
Synastry is more of like the energy that's just felt between you and initially, but like
how it
it's always there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, you always, especially if you have like a time, because you have to know the time to know the houses, like where those planets are in those houses. Because if you've got a lot of like planets in somebody's 12th house or even 8th house and like stuff like that, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like, are they my soulmate or my enemy?
Oh yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like, and I use those two houses because they're like crucial houses. I mean, any house is important, but like, especially if somebody had a lot of planets in your 4th house, you know what I mean? You might be like merging with them in some way emotionally. 4th house, home, family, all of that. 5th house, creativity, you know, children. I mean, it can be so many things, but 12th house, 8th house are those two houses where it's like, right, the occult, you know, like, is this person a dark magician? Are they like, you know what I mean? Are they good? Are they bad? So that is like, we should do that on the next episode. So you guys should like join in and look at your own charts to see where people like in your, just in your 12th and your 8th, because that would be interesting. Because I think that when I've gone back and like looked at like family members and friends and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
this makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense of like, you know, why things obviously like ended, or why I felt that, like, why did I feel like such a karmic energy with somebody? Because the 12th house, 8th house is very karmic too, you know, and just like how that has played out. I mean, you can never, I don't think that in the 12th or the 8th you can predict how any of that's going to play out, but it's like being aware of it, you know?
Yeah, so you can better navigate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, our composite moon, mine and David's, is Pisces, so it's cute.
Oh, nice.
And then our composite sun's Taurus, so he's sweet.
Yeah, and those at least, like, yeah, those are good because they're in sextile to each other. And Taurus energy, like it's in harmony with Pisces energy.
It's a good vibe.
Like, really, it's in harmony with, if it's not the other, like, earth signs or water signs. I mean, yeah. It's, I mean, Pisces can vibe with anybody, but it is like earth and water, like the best ones.
Yeah, earth is good.
Depending though, but again, depending on like everything that's in your chart, you know, because again, like we said this, you're not the typical Pisces. You have so much fire, so you're gonna vibe with a fire sign more so than a water sign.
Yeah, I think I need a fire sign, someone with a lot of fire, because I'm so fiery under the surface of it all, and I need someone to kind of give me back that energy, because I'll just burn through everything. So I need someone to kind of, but it does create a lot of explosion or passion, but it also kind of balances in a way, or like kind of puts me in my place, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the dynamic. Well, it's the dynamic, but I also think it's like for growth, because it's like fire's passion. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, that's why I don't like Cancer Moon to date, because I feel like they just let me be so fire. I'm like, I need you to kind of push back. Like, I don't want to burn over everything. I just, so it needs the fire.
They'll just like be like, whatever you want. Yeah, and nobody, of course, like there has to be. I mean, anybody that says that they don't like fight or anything in their relationship, I'm like, is it healthy?
Yeah,
like it's not like if it's happening all the time, okay, but I'm just saying, like, you have to have those squares in your chart to, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I think of it. Like, to, of course, keep it interesting, but like, you can't not have conflict.
Yeah,
it's like you can't have light without dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, squares are just like more work.
Fire is the only energy that gives to get back. What do you think Lilith represents in the chart? Some say it is a fear from a past life. Others say it's passion. What are both of your thoughts? Lilith?
It can be your the darker parts of yourself that you repress. I've heard that too.
It's your shadow.
Yeah. So the things you have to kind of face and not suppress.
Well, you just explained my 8th house Virgo sun daughter.
Lilith is also who didn't Adam like originally be with her, but she didn't want to be with one man.
She didn't want to submit and be on top.
Yeah.
Lilith is your, I mean, first of all, love me some Lilith energy. It's like she is like that raw sexual feminine energy in man or woman. Like that is like, she was not going to be repressed, oppressed. She was not going to just like, be like, like you were just saying with like a Cancer moon and like all that. It was like, no, I'm gonna, you can't control me. Like, well, I wouldn't say that stuff has to be balanced. Like, she's just she's, to me, Lilith is like our shadow, but like also owning that feminine energy and standing in it, but it also can, there's a light and a dark to Lilith, like with every sign.
Yeah, it can be where you feel uncomfortable too, so you have to learn to fully own your Lilith sign.
Yes.
Or it can be like an uncomfortable area for you. Like
very much so. And especially in Scorpio, that's like one of the signs that it is, which we both have that. And I think that over time or Lilith can be over sexual. So it's like you can either like really show your Lilith all the time, and then that's not, obviously, like there needs to be a balance with Lilith. Or you're not showing it at all and you're repressing it, but like you can feel it, it's there. She's our shadow. Like that is how I see Lilith. It's our repressed, feminine, sexual, raw, passionate energy.
Yeah.
That wants to be expressed. Whether that's through sexuality, how you dress, how you do your hair, how you do your makeup, how you perceive yourself. Like if somebody has Lilith on their ascendant, you know what I mean? Like they should be representing that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, of course she does. She's extremely psychic and definitely in Pisces and Scorpio. I mean, she's psychic in every sign, but we know all about that because we have it in Scorpio, and that's where she's exalted. So yeah, Lilith in Scorpio is the witch. You know what I mean? Whether she's going to use that good or bad.
Yeah.
But
I had a friend who was also Lilith in Scorpio, and she said she's like she can't really share her partners either. So I feel like that's Lilith in Scorpio. Very like what's the word? Like,
I feel like Lilith does not want to share in any sign.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe in
but
Gemini,
especially in Scorpio. Yeah, or like Libra is more comfortable with the middle ground or something. But.
Yeah. Lilith and Taurus too is like a very similar to like
possessive.
Yeah, they're indulgent, but again, it's like, are you gonna like take it to Lilith and Scorpio gang? Mine is an Aquarius, so you would be more Lilith and Aquarius is like you're curious about people and the collective and Lilith in Aquarius would be psychic, yeah, because it's like Uranus energy. So Lilith in Aquarius would be unpredictable, to be quite honest. It would be unpredictable. You probably don't have any type. You probably just think, everybody's
eccentric types.
Yeah, it would be eccentric. They would have to be like very not the norm. Yeah, because I mean, Aquarius doesn't want to. Well, it doesn't want to follow the pack yet. It wants to be like
with
I
the
don't
collective.
know. Aquarius is also
a leader,
a paradox.
Kind of. Yeah,
Aquarius and Virgo
Aquarius
are
is
a paradox.
interesting, but
and I know I have my Mercury in Aquarius. Let me tell you, it's all over the fucking place.
yeah, that's an interesting thing. Reading.
What about Lilith in Libra? Well, it's definitely going to be like Lilith in Libra. I feel like would be beautiful. I don't know, Lilith in Libra, because does Lilith really want balance? Yeah, I guess actually Lilith would do good in Libra because she doesn't want to be suppressed. But I don't know.
I feel like you'd have
to
learn.
What would you explain Lilith in Libra? I don't know.
Because Lilith can be where you're like you repress or you suppress. So you could feel uncomfortable in relationships for a while until you own that Lilith part of you, because that's your darker side, so your shadow that you
I agree
suppress.
with that.
So you have to learn how to feel comfortable in a relationship and balance.
And Libras
in the middle
like
ground.
Peace, like they like
they
don't
like
want,
balance.
Yeah,
and rapport.
So I feel like Lilith in Libra would be balanced unless she's in her shadow, and she would probably like Lilith in Libra would be charming.
You have to learn to integrate your Lilith. I feel like because it is. Yeah. It starts more as the shadow or something.
And it's over time. You know what I mean? Like when you really Libra 11 rising. Oh, with your Lilith. Oh, okay, yeah. Libra 11 rising. Yeah. Sophia's a 3 Libra. Yeah, Libra risings, you guys are gorgeous.
We're perfectionists. I feel like it's never good enough for a Libra rising. At least I've noticed with my Libra friends, they're like, oh my God, my eyelash extensions have to be perfect.
Well, Libras care about what people think.
Yeah, about looking perfect.
Yeah, and they just care about people. Like,
that's
like,
true. They want people to like them. That's what I said. That's why it's hard for me with haters, because even if it's like 2 haters, I just don't like people not having that Venus energy towards me, like love liking me. Like Libra risings like to be liked. They like to like people, and they like other people.
And they're
to like
social.
Them.
You know what I mean? They like to, but they also want harmony. They don't want to like. Yeah, they don't want, they don't. Like anybody with any Libra placements, I feel like but Libras are people pleasers. 100%. So if anything, that's what Libra would have in their soul has to work on, of not giving a fuck what anybody thinks. You know what I mean?
And just stating what you like and not worrying if other people are upset by it. Because I had a Libra roommate and they were always so trying to keep the peace and not saying what they really thought. I was like, just say what you think. Like, it's fine. And I felt like I was teaching them that because they had a Pisces moon, Libra sun, Sag rising, so they had my placements but mixed up. So I was like teaching them to be less Libra and be more Sag or something. Yeah. Yeah, because that's the only Libra part that you have, right, is your ascendant. So that's like good. You're not, because Libras can weigh it out just too much, but they are, it's the scale, it's the balance. So, I mean, they want harmony, but then their shadow, I feel like their shadow could be, like you said, not only people pleasing, and not being honest about how they feel.
Yes. Yeah, that would be a shadow side. Even though it's like, well, no, I'm just keeping. It's like no, because you need to be. Lilith and Libra, you fall in love with people who are for some reason unavailable. Oh, that's everybody, girl. That is all of us. Virgo is more about perfection. Yeah, Virgo is. Yeah, listen, girl, I'm a Virgo rising. All of my friends are Virgos. I know that vibration so well. And I'm like, can you please get out of your motherfucking head and get into your heart? But Virgo can organize like a motherfucker and clean and get that vacuum out and do all that stuff. Yeah, and they're great detectives, but they just need to not be in their head. Yeah, they can drive themselves. Listen, I will tell you, the people in my life that I know the most that have addictions are Virgos. And I always wondered, I'm like, Virgo rules the 6th house. It's so weird that every Virgo that I know is like, major addiction issues. And then I was like, it dawned on me, because they're trying to escape their mind. Because they're so in their head.
Are you on the YouTube or the High Vibe?
YouTube.
Oh, okay. Someone was like, always read the YouTube, not High Vibe chat.
Am I not in the?
No, you're on the YouTube. I'll read the High Vibe chat though.
Oh, yeah. I'm in the YouTube chat. Lilith and Libra, you fall in love. How do you both feel about Jupiter and Pisces? How does that affect you as a Pisces? Well, it got me out of a really bad relationship.
It brings good luck and like wisdom to Pisces. So.
Yeah, your mom's in her head. For sure. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't, like, honestly, like, this whole narrative this whole year has been Jupiter and Neptune. And I'm just like, okay. Yeah.
It's been a very...
It can be, I guess, you would think it could bring your soulmate. Like, that's what you would, like, think. Like, Jupiter and Neptune. But then it's like...
I feel like it did for me, for sure. But
well, it did, but, like, you weren't...
Towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and it wasn't even... Your Jupiter return brought your soulmate.
Yeah, I did, because it was in my 7th house.
Jupiter and Aries with your vertex there. Yes, girl, that's what that was. Yeah. Because your Jupiter and your vertex are together. Yes. Your Jupiter return is fire. Jupiter and Pisces probably cut out that stuff prior, which you would think that that's not what it would do, but it does if you're not in alignment. That's why it's, for me, hard to wrap my head around Jupiter and Neptune and Pisces. I guess it numbed out a lot of people. It probably made everybody be like, wow. I think it made the energy just like,
a lot of people were drinking a lot.
Great. Like, I'm just lost, you know? And that was just collectively, like, the vibe. Like, it was just, like, I mean, that's what David said of it is Novocaine. Like, it's just, like, we're all just... So, I don't, personally, I mean, it ripped off my rose-colored lenses to situations that I was like...
Same.
Oh my God, I thought that this was where I was going, and it's not. When you wouldn't think that Jupiter and Neptune would be ripping off rose-colored lenses, you think that they would keep them plastered to your face. So it's,
But the Neptune retrograde, I feel like, brought it out. When the Neptune retrograded in Pisces, I think that was in like July. I think it was July. It was Neptune retrograde. And
it's still retrograde.
Oh.
Yeah, that shit is still, I think it's coming out though.
But I think it started in July or something,
But I would say, and maybe from my experience, because I was in this situation for so long, that Jupiter and Neptune didn't really, but if I would have entered into something in Jupiter and Neptune, it did bring a lot of people my way, but Jupiter and Neptune would have been more... I feel like if people entered into something in Jupiter and Neptune, they were probably like, oh my God, this is like, oh, we are merging. This is amazing. This is so beautiful. Like, maybe that's what the vibe was for a lot of people. It wasn't my experience because I had been in a situation that clearly was like dissolving. And so I think when you're in situations that are dissolving, then it just like washes it away.
Yeah.
But it could be the opposite. If you're not in your... If I was like single Pisces, like out in the mix, yeah, I'm sure it would have been a completely different vibration. Totally. And that now, I probably, with Jupiter being back in Pisces, it would probably be dissolving. So it's hard to say. I would say it's a dream that maybe it's like that it could be a soul lesson. I don't know. This Jupiter-Neptune thing has me because I am so Neptunian, so I don't know what the vibration was for you. What was the vibration going on March, April, and May for you? Was it good, or was it like, thank God this is...
I met someone that was really not good for me, and I feel like I totally, like, looking back, I'm like, was I literally like crazy? Like, what? I was seeing this person so untrue for who they truly were. Like, they were a really toxic person in my life, and they would gaslight me a lot. I felt like it was like repeating because they were the same sign as the person I was dating before. They were also a Capricorn, and they would like gaslight me. And he was the most lying person I've ever dated. He lied to me. He was just a pathological liar. He would lie about everything. Yeah. And then gaslight me and say it wasn't true, but I would meet other people and they would tell me the truth. And I'm like, I have the facts right in front of me. Like, they show me text or whatever the situation was, and he would just continue to lie. And it was just like such a toxic situation. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So it was a huge lesson, and looking back, I'm like, I don't even know why I dated
It got you out of a karmic loop.
It was just showing me like, okay, you're gonna do this again. Like you're gonna be with this type of person again, the same type of person almost.
Yeah. Like so it could teach you, Jupiter and Neptune could teach you like, if you stop repeating the same cycles, then the gift will come.
Yeah, totally. I had to just stop letting that type of energy in and see people clearly, because I was not seeing people clearly. I was just giving people the benefit of the doubt, or like seeing them through my own version.
The energy was so big. But that's the thing with Jupiter and Neptune, because the energy was probably like so. It's like Novocaine. Like it's just like smoking weed all day long.
Yeah, and I think I was supposed to have that experience just to experience that, because I usually date guys a lot older than me. Like my ex before that was like 7 years older, and then he was like, this guy was only like a year older than me. So I think it was supposed to be an experience to experience that type of energy, dating someone close to my age, and is definitely not for me. I feel like, I don't know, I've always felt like dating older guys is just so much better, because like they're more established and smarter. They've been through it more, and they understand how to treat women better. Yeah, totally. They've already been through like their fuckboy phase that guys go through, and so once they get to a certain age, they're just better to have a relationship with. Yeah, because women, I feel like, reach that age younger, that they want to settle down and have someone that's like honest and knows what they want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think everybody wants to like have something truthful and honest, for God's sake.
Yeah. Right? But like, that's why it's hard to date guys that are younger.
She said that Jupiter went retro July 20th. Yeah, it's about to come out. Jupiter's about to come out, and so is Neptune. And then Jupiter's going back in Aries. That's all great. That's good. People with their Black Moon, Lilith, and Libra want to be closer. Okay, yeah, we already read that. Meditate or self-medicate. Yeah, exactly. Commitment, marriage, or betrayal. Perfect. So I just think that anybody that was single during Jupiter and Neptune, it could be a dream, or it's like, an illusion. If somebody entered into something during that at the beginning of the year, because we're talking this all was going on at the beginning of the year. And then all these planets retrograde. So now anybody that entered into anything new then, now with it being back, it's like, okay, is this real, or is it a nightmare, or is it bliss? I
feel like if it's right for you, you'll just know. And it's like a level of that you can't be wrong, because when you have the illusion of Neptune or being a Pisces or whatever, you like feel like but there's also a part of you that's like, maybe it's not. But like when it's really true, then you don't even have that part of you that's like, maybe I'm being in my rose-colored glasses. There's not even that part of you, really.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And having all that fire too in your chart, like, it helps you like at least maybe not stay in something so long, where you can kind of like, like move forward, but if you had way more like water, it would be harder.
Yeah, totally.
Way harder. True. Well, I think that we did a good episode.
Yeah.
We'll have to like think of, is there anything else that people want to know?
Someone asked about Neptune and Scorpio, and Jupiter and Neptune and Scorpio in the second house. But
well, God, Jupiter and Neptune in Scorpio, just in general, I mean, that's a psychic detective.
Yeah, the second house kind of stabilizes it.
But Neptune energy always like it's like a numbing too, of like it makes everything a little bit more dreamy and like magical, and it's like, is it real? And Jupiter expands.
But if you have Jupiter with Neptune, that that expands, it gives it more luck and more
Absolutely. I mean, I just think that like whatever like you're feeling is what you should trust. It's very similar to Jupiter and Neptune and Pisces. Scorpio can go deeper, but I guess it could be way more obsessive too, and it's in the second house. So I mean, it has to do with like,
yeah, totally,
assets, and so that has to do with other people, because it's going to the 8th house.
And I just realized that since we're in Scorpio season and all this Scorpio and stuff, is probably why there's like more hateful energy out there, or haters out there. But maybe it's just because I'm more putting myself out there, so I feel it more. But maybe that's why we're experiencing.
Well, yeah, and haters. Because the South Node's there too. So I think a lot of people are just projecting. Mm-hmm. Like they're projecting their fears and their insecurities of what they're feeling. You know what I mean?
If you get down to the bottom of it, that's what it is. So it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
That's why you have to learn to not let it affect you and take it personally.
Oh, God, no. And that just comes with time, though, girl. Like, I mean, that is, I mean, anybody that watches our episodes or anything like that, and, like, we just, what's the word we should do? Don't consent to, like, not the energy that's not high vibe. It's like anybody that would come here and, like, not be behind a computer screen or whatever it is, to come up here and to, like, do this, and then they would see what that's actually like and how uncomfortable it is at first, but we're on our path, on our north node, doing this work, and we're doing this work for everybody that's on the same path.
Yeah, and that's the only way to get better is to try. So you have to go through it and make mistakes and trial and error in order to get better. That's the only way. So people should support that. You're never going to be perfect, especially at the beginning.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
We only want, like, energy that is going to not only support Sophia and I and high vibe and the collective and, like, this whole spiritual ascension that we're all going through, because why, like, we don't know any of you, but we love all of you. And we're sending our cosmic energy to you guys. And that, if we, hopefully we didn't say like 5,000 times. And I don't know.
Oh my God, it's hard. It's such a habit.
Flipped our hair all around. I mean, who cares? We're just on our path, just like you guys. So, yeah.
It's just our personality.
Yeah, and we can't, and that's just, the certain energy that everybody has with, we're in a collective of, like, purging and projecting, and it's just, you cannot, when you're in this type of work or any type of work or talking to anybody, you can't, none of you should take anything on the outside 3D world that take anything personally, because if I've learned anything in life, it's like people's projections onto you are just an insecurity of themselves.
Yeah,
and that's
something
it.
That, totally.
That's all that it is. It's like mirroring back the dark, the light, all of it.
Totally.
And everything, if we enlighten you guys, you enlighten us. It's all an energy exchange. We're all one.
Yeah, we're all down on Earth.
We're all
exchanging
entangled.
energy. That's what this life is energy exchange.
We're all entangled in this quantum entanglement. So, we hope you guys enjoyed, and we will be back next week. And we'll just give us topics. What do you guys want to know? Well, the sun sign thing and all of that. But we have to get people on for that. But I feel like planets and synastry and who knows, numerology.
I love numerology. We definitely should.
Yeah, and numbers are important. It can just go so many ways.
It's a vibration.
We love you guys. Have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy this. God, what? I don't even know what's going on. Is Jupiter trining something?
And it's going to go into Sag season. So I think we'll be Sag season by our time our next show.
We're not going to be here. That's right. That's right.
Scorpio season.
Yeah. So, we're not going to be here next week. That's right. It is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. We'll be back the week after that. But much love and light. Later.
Bye.